So today, we have an incredible story to tell you about. These four real people, not just ordinary people, real people seeking the real story about the real Bigfoot. Not just an ordinary Bigfoot, but Sasquatch, him and herself. That's what we're after. And these four people, a field surveyor, a man of faith, a scientist, and an inspector, are here to take on the world's biggest challenge and the world's biggest mystery. So, let me turn this over to some of the real people behind the real story.
Today, we are in an undisclosed location. We received reports of Bigfoot and the migration of a family from Northern California up the Pacific coast. Now, we can't tell you where we are, but what we will show you today are real scenes of real locations where Bigfoot has been. Definitely Squatch area.
Hello, I've got to share with you something incredible that we've recently discovered while in a local bar having dinner. A young couple heard us talking about our expedition in search of the truth of Sasquatch, and they think they have identified an actual photo of Sasquatch. So, able to really determine the truth, the real transparency behind Sasquatch, I want you to look at it yourself so you can determine and you can see that I believe we have found Sasquatch and the true identity behind Bigfoot.
So we're at this local bar and they were talking about a possible Bigfoot sighting or some sort of sighting. So they told us where they were at. So we came up to try to figure out where they were at, and we do believe that we found the same location. So we're gonna head on up and see if there's any evidence of what they've seen.
So after inspecting the site and the weather and conferring with our scientists, we've determined that this is probably the exact time of year, maybe even the same day. So, and the weather is very similar. So we're gonna go up and inspect the area.
The temperature and the barometer settings are perfect for another sighting.
So Jeff, how tall are you?
6'2", 6'3".
Okay, so you're gonna head up and reenact,
Yes.
and that'll give us an indication of how big this thing really is.
Correct. Because
Okay.
then we can do the scale model
Yes,
based on the video.
Faith
precisely.
and fact. Good job, guys. You're crossing this log. Wait here, Pete. Don't disturb this. This is important. This, can you see this, Brian?
Oh, sure, for sure.
This fungus was attached right here at some point. And it's heavy. It's not light. It's very heavy. It was attached right here.
Oh, yeah. You can
Something
obviously see
crossed here, and it fell and landed right there. And you can see how this is sort of matted down
Yeah,
here.
look at the wear pattern here.
Right. This is clearly
that. A possibility.
Yeah.
Sure.
the thing. Now imagine a few weeks ago this was probably full of snow. And you could use this log as a highway, so to speak, to get to the water source.
Okay. Let's keep searching.
So, as we talked about, we know there's a migration. We know we're on the right track. Walk around that way, Brian, and what you'll see is exactly the path that they're taking to reach their feeding ground. No, how the moss has been ripped away. Move up here and look at this. Look at this footprint right here.
Certainly
look at that.
Could be.
See how it, look, came in here and flattened this. Look at the size of this. I have very large hands. And look at the size of this, and you can see the toe marks are there.
Yeah.
Here's the heel. Stepped here, and look, right here. The next, I'm not kidding. Here's the next footprint. Right here, again, the same size. 2 hands, toes, heel. Heading up.
True length of the stride. The true length of the stride is demonstrated right here.
And think about this, Brian, I don't know if you can capture this, but look how steep this is. I'm now standing up, and I'm nearly 6 feet tall. And look how steep this is.
Wow. He certainly makes his way uphill quickly.
Yeah, well, you can tell we're on the right track. Let's keep going. So, we know we're on the right path. We've been seeing footprints and areas are matted down. What Jeff's going to show you is what it would be like for them as they travel up through this terrain. Go ahead, Jeff, show us. You can see how steep it is. Jeff is on hands and knees trying to ascend. Brian, can you keep up with him?
It's
Jeff's
tough.
moving just like a SWAT would. Jeff, look at how he's scaling.
Needing all 4s.
Jeff spent years in the wilderness studying Bigfoot techniques and travel.
And how difficult it is for Jeff to scale. Think about Bigfoot at 4 times that speed.
Well, my calculations are with his size and length, he's going at least 9 to 10 miles an hour up a 45-degree.
Good job, guys.
And it fits you very nicely. As you can see, there's a space right there where you could sit right down in. Yeah, just like that. And look, notice how Pete's able to easily get in and out of this location.
So, after you guys left the birthing hall, I had to go back and do an official inspection.
Thank Pete Science!
Yes, thank Pete Science. There's only been one other known birthing hole that's ever been discovered. I was up and inspected it in the northern tips of Alaska at the final stages of the migration when they head north for summertime. This is an identical match. No one else has ever been seen these. This is real stuff by real people.
So we need to be very quiet right now, because after leaving the birthing hole, we've been in search for what really leads to that birthing hole, and that's the true path of a family. And the Sasquatch, despite what everyone thinks, they are not solo artists. They travel in a family, and they typically have matted down routes.
Kind of like this, Jeff?
Yes, just like this. And you can see the debris is flattened out. It's a steep slope. They travel this often.
And look how easily I can...
Us been training our whole life to find Bigfoot. Come with us on our journey, because we can go deeper, faster, and further than every other searcher out there. Come with us.
We are we're on day 3, and as you can see, we're in the snow. So we're up at a very high elevation, and we came across what we believe to be a fir. So
We'll go back 1 inch back is usually the level that we go, so we don't disturb.
we're going to submit this to the lab for verification to understand what this is.
Great find, fellas.
So we've been out for 3 days now, following the migration path of Sasquatch, looking for a den. Because as you know, in the Pacific Northwest, it's raining a lot. And sure enough, we found it. I'll crawl inside so you can see.
Enter the den with us.
It is very large. It goes way back in here. And as a pod, Brian, I don't know if you can reach around.
How many could possibly fit in here?
Easily 3, 4. You'll notice I can get way back in here. And there's enough light and air.
As you can see, very protected by humans and the weather.
We found it.
Is there any evidence of Squatch remains?
It smells musty. You know, and they do have a distinct odor.
Yeah.
I can smell. It's a shame that we can't put that on the video. But there's certainly an odor in here.
Great find. Great find.